Yeah, here's what we're gonna do today, folks. We're gonna talk about some stuff and some things. Okay, look, I don't think I really need to go over this a whole bunch more. I did change the name of the stream to this just so I could, I don't know, lure some folks. Look, it's clickbait. No, not really, but um, okay. So Eric July is legit put out a video that the thumbnail and the title and everything is that Ripaverse is not political. Okay, now I'm gonna show a clip that's 2 years old right now. By now, this was filmed. This was a stream that we did when, like, not long after ISOM #1 came out. Okay, so it was me and Little Movie Perp, and we did this deep dive stream about, it was ostensibly supposed to be a review about ISOM #1, but what we really were doing was doing a review of Eric July, and we streamed for several hours, and we looked at many aspects of this motherfucker. And so this was kind of and this also ended up being the final segment in my video from about 6 months ago, called "I spent a year studying a comic book charlatan," or whatever it is. If you guys haven't seen that video, you should. It's pretty good. Pretty proud of it. I mean, it is a lot of kind of a compilation of segments from over time and stuff, but also some new stuff. A little bit of a hybrid video. But it's just generally my overall analysis of Eric July and the Ripaverse and stuff in that video. Just an hour. I mean, maybe it was an hour and a half. I forget. But then this was the final segment in that. Unwoke, non-woke. People will say it's anti-woke. That's political. No, it's non-woke. He says that is a position of politics, and we've got a guy, as we looked at, who, in his own words, he's been doing this for political purposes since he started making a name for himself. His music, his YouTube channel, it's all from the perspective of grow politically, socially. And then he co-founded Being Libertarian, apparently. Started his own act, Backwards, which is political music, political commentator, appearing on Fox and Friends to discuss minimum wage. Here nor there. And then he added comic book commentary, grew his YouTube channel some more, continued building a following of like-minded libertarians. 1 year later, his social media reached the millions. I had a platform to make a difference in the world. We don't stop. Today, we're an incredible community of freedom-minded people who live to share their stories, spread liberty, and make an impact on society. And you're going to tell me this fucking guy suddenly, when it came to making a comic book, decided, no, this is where I draw the line here. I'm too noble to continue my political and cultural pursuits with this comic. It's too pure of a medium. How dare you suggest such a thing, sir? No. Even if you don't have anything, even if you can't construe stuff in the comic itself as political, which you can, but let's pretend. So that comment right there, even if you can't construe stuff in the comic as political, which you can. So does anybody know what the stuff in ISOM in particular, never mind Albacore or any of the other shit, just ISOM #1 and 2. Do you guys know what the political stuff is in that? And like he, of course his audience doesn't think it is because they're fucking morons and they don't understand what politics means. They don't understand how expansive that term is. They think it only applies to what they have been told by their, Fox News algorithm or whatever, it is. But bingo, yeah, you had Texas. I mean, that there's that, and then the fact that so Texas has seceded from the U.S. That's something that happened in the past of the comics, so it's not actually taking place, but they mention it a few times. It is like a relevant part of whatever story there is, I guess. And like also just every time, so like in the first issue, Isom goes into the city, right? And he starts out and he's out in the country, lives out in the country. Everything's nice out there in the country. It's so peaceful and cool. He's got to go into the city and and then he's like walking around in the city later on. He's like some, sex worker and some other, it's like, he's kind of got this disgust towards these people, just judgment. And it's like, that is very fucking traditionally fascist fucking mode of thought to otherize urban centers and like cities and stuff like that. The Nazis did it. They do it now, where they're like, the cities, they're just like these liberal hotbeds of fucking degeneracy and wokeness and blah, blah, blah. It's just a tried and true thing, apparently. And yeah, so I mean that maybe he doesn't realize that's political. I don't know if he wrote that thinking this is political, but it's definitely his attitude seeping through, and that is a political attitude, whether he fucking is smart enough to understand it or not. Yep. No, I mean I grew up in the country, man. Like I grew up in the South, and like there's I wish I could say that like most of the stereotypes are not true. But there's a reason I left that place. And it's because a lot of the stereotypes that you hear and see around it are just true. There is racism baked into to the culture of, in a lot of the South. There is, religious based bigotry and just like this fucking judgment. And then, not only that, but like the thing that I couldn't stand as an autistic person, and I lived my life not knowing that I was autistic and still trying to figure out why I can't fucking understand these people. It's because they do this, this fake charm, this fake nice thing. You know what I mean? The Southern charm. You hear about that? It's not a real thing. They're not really being charming generally. Sure, there's some nice people. There are definitely some amazing people that live in the South, come out of the South. That's obviously the case. I'm never talking in like 100% generalities about these type of things, but yeah, it's just more common to run into somebody that fits this kind of mold. Um, and there's a lot of poverty. I grew up in it. I experienced it, and I wasn't even nearly as poverty stricken as some other people that I knew. You know, like I generally had decent clothes and shoes and food and stuff like that. But like my family wasn't well off at all. But then like some friends down the street, man, they were the dirty kids. Everybody knows there's the dirty kids in school. Is the ones that everybody's like, oh, that guy smells bad, have lice all the time and shit, and their parents don't fuck take care of them and all that shit. Like I was somewhat fortunate in that regard that my parents weren't like that. um, but still, it's just, and then a lot of people on food stamps, a lot of people on welfare, and then also no access to any real mental health care, which is the main reason that I moved. Well, one of two main reasons that I moved out of the South was I needed to be somewhere where I could actually have consistent, decent health care, both physical and mental health care, which changed my life for the better. So, like, it it sucks to think about all the people that are just so conditioned into thinking that the country's actually better, and the South and stuff is where it's at, and the cities are the bad places and stuff like that. Dude, I live in Portland, and yeah, there's some fucking gross shit that you see. There's a lot of homeless, and I'm not saying they're gross people. I'm just saying that you run into poop and needles and stuff like that, and that shit sucks. And I wish there was a solution for it, but the solution is that capitalism sucks and we need to get rid of that shit. But the solution is that all of the empty buildings and homes and stuff that they don't just let people live in. That's what the solutions are. These are all statements from Eric July. Just 1 year later, my channel had made more than 300,000 subs. My social media reach, I had the platform to make a difference in the world. So he wants to make a difference in the world. That kind of sounds like social justice to me, man. If there's one thing you need to know about me, it's this. I don't remember what the hell that I said. I cut it off stupid, I guess. Since I was in my early 20s, I've been spreading my own brand of freedom across the whole world. Really? Start influencing real change. We don't stop. Today, we got an incredible community of freedom-minded people who live to share their story, spread liberty, and make an impact on society. So either Eric July is lying because he puts all of his effort in the Rippaverse now, that's where everything's going. That's what he's doing. So he's either lying that the Rippaverse is apolitical, or he's given up on his stated life mission, in which case he has no fucking, he can't see it, couldn't see it through. He gave up. He's a fucking quitter. Which one do you think it is? Is he lying now? Or did he give up on his fucking hopes and dreams? I think we all know what it is. Because he works for goddamn Blaze Media. Yeah, he's lying. No, I mean, the incoherence is what, honestly, that's the thing that makes him so compelling to cover. I know his audience will never understand this, his fans generally, but like, they accuse me, different people that have covered Eric multiple times, that we're obsessed or whatever. It's like, no, man, if if his responses to any criticism, or if the statements that he just makes in a vacuum were not so goddamn insane in context of anything, it wouldn't be so compelling to cover. But like, he makes it so easy. And maybe he's doing that on purpose. I don't know. Maybe I'm a sucker for his scheme or something like that. But I suspect no. Can't. Let's pretend you read it and it's just like, wow, there's literally nothing tangential to politics or whatever. The act of doing it in defiance of the woke, weirdo, mainstream, whatever words he uses, is political. And it's fucking disingenuous. Honestly, I would probably kind of just chill out on more if he just fucking admitted that. I mean, I would not like that he goes after literal individual creators and lies about them and stuff like that and contributes to toxicity and fandom. But it would be marginally better if he just was like, all right, look, my motivations are political. I did leave it up on my website, like you would think that he would like take that. Oh, wait, I don't want him to realize that I'm political, but none of his followers care. They know it is. And they're cool with it. They want it. This is the exact same shit, guys. Exact same shit. Like, he didn't change it. He's still got this whole fucking spiel that, he's like trying to sound folksy, and like he just he just came up on his own, when he doesn't mention the fact that he was scooped up by Glenn Beck.
Crazy Cat said, Eric, what are the plans for the Rippaverse when Daddy Glenn shuts the money hose off because of diminishing returns?
Give me the damn money, Glenn. Give me the damn money, Glenn.
That's kind of convenient. Or maybe he does mention Blaze, but like, it's, look, this guy is the most AstroTurf fucking guy that I've ever seen. I'm sure there's more AstroTurf guys that I just haven't paid attention to, but I've seen it over and over again from his the way that he presents his music and the way he talks about his music, winning all these or hitting all these Billboard chart moments when there's only one that you can verify anywhere. But he claims they've hit all these other points too. It's just bullshit. It's like, even whenever he has something legit kind of impressive, he has to fucking blow that out proportion too. That's the mark of a pathological liar. Yeah, no shit. It's kind of funny that he tries to pretend like he's not like a big Trump fan when he clearly is. Also landed myself a track and field scholarship at University of Memphis before transferring to Texas A&M University, Corpus Christi. I've seen something at one point that suggests that he did not actually graduate. I don't know for sure if that's true, but I saw something. Just got a scholarship, and he went there, and I smashed the 100-meter record at A&M. That's actually true. Josh, I know you're just like hardcore, like anything he says is a lie, and that's like generally how I see him too. But like, I've confirmed that this is a fact, that he's hit this record. Okay, I don't know if it's still standing, but I think it was whenever I checked 2 years ago. Yeah, people say that Eric July is not a good writer. I disagree. He's not good at writing comic books, but he's pretty good at convincing people that the shit he says about his own history is true. Exactly. Yeah, like I said in my my script that you guys haven't heard, that they lie with the truth, right? Especially him. Me's really good at lying with the truth. In fact, that's who we were talking about, because he's the one saying, the X-Men, they try and say that the X-Men's always was meant to be a allegory for civil rights, and that blah, blah, and it's not. And it's like, that's true. And people like look at me weird whenever I say that. Like, no, he's right there. And it's like, what? No, yeah, it's true. But the thing he doesn't talk about, Fallen Gemini, is the fact that first iteration of X-Men was canceled after, I don't know how many issues. Was it 90 something? And because nobody was buying it when it was all a bunch of white people. But then whenever it came back in 1975 and they had a very, very diverse cast, that's when it, and ever since then, that's what it's been, diverse cast, selling books, there's an argument to be made. It could be a little bit more diverse now. We'll see how this new era goes, but yeah, it's the wokeness, quote unquote, the woke X-Men of 1975 are the ones that became the goddamn, mega hit that Claremont then ushered into becoming the fucking highest selling comic book of all time. I mean, look, man, I'm not going to knock the guy for shit that I can't really talk shit on a guy with a gut. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about you, but Yeah, I mean, sincerely though, like, there's no point in mentioning that stuff. There's no point in mentioning his gut or how fat he is or the shoulder hair, even though I've mentioned that in the past. I gave him an award for it one time. But like, that's kind of just lame shit to mention. Like, if you're doing that, you're not focusing on the substantive points that you could be making about him. So who fucking cares? I mean, if he's literally fat shaming somebody right now, or he just fat shamed somebody, and you want to use that to point that out, that hypocrisy, then sure. But like, you're just bringing it up in a vacuum, like talking. It's like there's no point in that, man. Like it's just seems fucking petty and shit, and I don't appreciate people engaging that way. I challenge people in my audience to be better than that about being fighting for your fandom. Don't go the lowest common denominator. Don't go the fucking easy route. Fucking get some fucking arguments, man. Point out many of the lies. The hypocrisy is not really a big deal. I mean, it is a big deal to most people, but like, his audience doesn't care. There's not a lot of people that are going to hear that and go, oh, that's true. He is always saying people are fat, and yet he's kind of fat. I'm not going to be a fan of his anymore. That's not going to happen. You know what I mean? No, I mean, I agree with you there, man. Like, as time goes on, I'm more and more convinced that that these people are knowing liars, which I used to not think that way about them. There's a lot of knowing liars, just comfortable liars, as Chevelle would say. They have a song called "Comfortable Liar." A lot of comfortable liars in the anti-fandom movement, so to speak. And then just also a lot of idiots that don't know how or to do anything but confirm their own bias. Yeah, I mean, it seems likely that he probably did, man. I mean, but at the same time, like, I don't get into the details of that stuff, because both of those guys are fucking liars, and they're scumbags, honestly. Like, Riley's a piece of shit too. You just let them fight. I don't really care what the details are. So he doesn't mention anything about politics here in 2012, but then grow politically and socially, 2013, making waves. Just wanted to keep it all going. He put together Rage for the Machine. This doesn't say anything. We wanted to do the kind of metal I did with the previous group, but take it further. What does that mean? Nothing. Just talking bullshit. I co-founded Being Libertarian, that's a weird little point in his timeline that I just wish I knew what the truth was there. Focused on an organization called Minorities Seeking Solutions. You guys know about Democracy Sucks, right? Come on, tell me you know about Democracy Sucks. Did you hear whenever I did a little cover of it one time, a little fucking karaoke of that shit? Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, he's a monarchist, exactly. In case anybody wants to know specifically exactly what he feels about democracy, here you go. And hopefully you enjoy my little my cover. Backwards build themselves as the libertarian Rage Against the Machine, which is just so fucking cute. It's absolutely adorable. I had looked at the track names of Backwards, and there's some interesting ones. Particularly one, Democracy Sucks. Democracy sucks. That's cool, man. That's cool, man. Loyalty is conditional. You're misinformed. So they tug at your heartstrings to mask what's underneath. Emotions are running high. So it's like nobody noticed a lie. No, we notice your lies all the time. Using false security as a bribe. But have you ever thought about as to why these people will go around hoping that you frown? Oh, that's lame. That's lame. At the idea that the sky's falling down. Wow. I know, wow. That was my reaction to that rhyme scheme that you just did. Was wow. They use it to control you. Like they package up and own you. Tap your fears and act like this. But ask yourself, is this really a path you feel? Selling your soul cheaper than a Happy Meal. It's sad to hear when you cling to a bad idea. Speak in lies, deny and imply that we could not get by without you. Rule through fear. It's clear that you're here to lead the sheep to shear their lives away. Entrust our faith to those who bend the knee, to the underlying hate that you helped create. So step back. The picture is bigger than you think. How can you open your eyes when you're blinded by a catchphrase? Okay. Like tokenized? Worth the time or worth the fine? I work to find solutions, but it hurts when my family falls for the okie doke. Kind of like Obama. We saw and we know he choked. Know what she wrote, bro. Said he was gonna bring the troops home. Got in and started singing a new song. I mean, that's true-ish. I mean, yeah, generally. But he's cool, so they thinking he can't do no wrong. Bomb more countries than Bush, but I got a new phone. Not an Obama reference. There's basically a whole verse dedicated to Barry there. We know what it is. Giving you the biz. I'm saying you ain't gotta lie to me. We know you got it wrong, but you're not alone. I'm not asking for apologies. I'd much rather you in a battle mood. Waking up smelling the coffee. I'm just stressing to spread the message. Before they turn around and just off me. Jesus Christ, man, that is all over the place. All right, so that's Democracy Sucks. I guess. No, I'm actually kind of disappointed that he doesn't say Democracy Sucks in the song. I mean, I know not every song has to have the title in the song. I know that. But I really just wish I had a sound clip of Eric screaming Democracy Sucks. I really wish I had a sound clip of him saying Democracy Sucks. If anybody knows where he said that at any point, that'd be great. Just like have a drop of that. Yeah, I know, man. It's fucking bad, right? Thomas Sowell. Yeah. That's yikeroonies, man. I will agree with this. I actually was surprised. Have you guys heard their new song? I mean, it's fucking terrible just in principle, but like musically and his part of it, which I think that there's something shady going on. But that white pilled song or whatever it is, or the Rippaverse anthem, which is just so stupid. The lyrical content is terrible. The message of it is terrible. But musically, like honestly, if he just made his stupid fucking, monarchist, metalcore music, it's like whatever, do that, man. But if you look around, by the way, you can find many locations of people just roasting the fuck out of Backwards, like people that are metal fans, and then I've even seen a couple of spots where there's like people that are, I guess agree with them politically, but still think that they're shit. I don't know. So somebody mentioned his civil rights views. They're bad, man. Like he basically, essentially, he thinks or seems. So this is all through that one guy. He's got a YouTube channel. I forget his name right now. That apparently founded Being Libertarian, and then Eric July wasn't even one of the first guys that he met up with for the website. It was apparently somebody that one of those guys brought on. That was Eric. And in this post from this guy a while back, he described, when Eric and a couple other people joined the group, were hired by one of the other guys, and Eric is a black man who like says stuff like the civil rights movement was a mistake or some shit, and he would, and this is what convinced me that it's probably true, is that he would used to go off on what is it, Franklin? Is Franklin the little black kid on Peanuts? Is that right? Maybe whichever one the little black one is, right? That apparently he calls him a token character. And I was like, that is the most Eric July thing I've ever heard. I totally believe it. Franklin, thank you. Yeah. It's just kind of this entitled fucking sore loser mentality from what I can tell. It's like the majority of people vote for a thing, and then that's the thing that you get, right? Ideally. But there's always going to be some people that maybe they're generally going to be some people, the minority, who didn't want that. And they feel they are entitled to get what they want instead. I think that's what it is. Just like a lifetime of like this entitled fucking resentment. Okay, so the people that think that I'm just obsessed with Eric July, and it's like, I got some kind of thing out for him in particular. I don't. The thing that makes him a point of interest for me is that he exists on that intersection of my personal love of comics and my personal philosophy of reduce harm, maximize well-being. And I ignored the guy for almost 3 years because at a glance he was boring. And to me, he was just the roads dude.
How many times you think we ain't felt all the things? How many times we say we oppose taxation? What about the roads? How many times? What about the roads?
But when I began to get asked about ISOM and Rippaverse, and asked fairly often, I had to see what it was. I still wouldn't have cared that much, because after all, he's, there's lots of Comicsgate guys I've never and will never talk about. But those guys don't have upward of 500K subs. They don't work for a major right-wing media / disinformation network.
Daddy Glenn shuts the money hose off because of diminishing returns.
Give me the damn money, Glenn. Give me the damn money, Glenn.
So how much does Glenn Beck pay you?
Glenn Beck doesn't pay me. Glenn Beck doesn't own Blaze anymore.
Oh, so how much? So how much does the Blaze pay you?
Blaze doesn't pay me that much. I'm only a video contributor. I only show up every once or twice at the most a week.
I mean, you got your picture. You got your picture on the wall. You must do something for him.
We need the Glenn bucks.
Well, yeah, give us the Glenn bucks,
Come on.
man. Damn, where is it at?